Day 8.
Yeah. Hello and welcome to Easy Odds Euro preview for Day 8.
Day 8.
England have just beaten Wales 6-0.
Can you
Rooney
believe
scored
it?
4 goals and Harry Kane scored a free kick from 45 yards. Can you believe it?
It was incredible stuff,
It
wasn't
was
it?
one of the best games I've ever seen.
In case you're wondering, we're recording this about an hour before the England-Wales game. We're pretty nervous, so there could be some nervous energy around this video. But on the plus side, the previous video that we recorded, Day 6, we found all 3 winners, including an eagle eye winner of 6-1 on Vladimir Weiss to score for Slovakia. So we're in decent form, so let's move across to Day 8.
We're on Day 8 now, wow. Okay, Italy versus Sweden is the first game. Italy surprised a few people. Italy surprised a few people, didn't they? And
Sure did, yeah.
Pele's been really backed quite massively into top goal scorer.
Dislocated finger and all.
Dislocated finger and all, yeah. They went absolutely mental, didn't they?
Yeah.
After that goal. So Italy, Sweden. Can Zlatan do anything?
Yeah, Italy, of course, turned over Belgium. My picks for the tournaments. That was a poor start for my outright tips, but my match tips are going fine. And it has to be said that Italy were really, really good in that game. Just tactically, they certainly didn't dominate the ball at all. They kind of let Belgium have the ball, and Belgium play such a narrow game that they were so kind of tight at the back that there was no way through at all. And when they did make their way through, Lukaku missed a pretty poor shot. Lukaku missed a bit of a glaring header as well. So
Origi as well.
Origi, yeah. So they only need one more win now, and they're guaranteed their place in the last 16 to join France, who are also qualified already. Best odds here, 10-11 to win the game. Antonio Conte's side. I can see that being a fair price for this game. As I said, they gave up possession of the ball to Belgium, but they won the game 2-0. They were tactically brilliant. So they managed to contain the onslaughts of the likes of Eden Hazard, who I thought had a really good game. Eden Hazard, he's back to his best, and that could be key for Belgium moving forward. But I'm looking at just this game in particular. They were also very good at creating chances when they did have the ball. They were pretty concise with their attacks when they did attack on the counter attack, as proven by the second goal, where they countered really, really well. Had an overlay of players on the back post, and Pella absolutely smashed it in on the volley.
Yeah.
Whereas Sweden opened up their Euro 2016 campaign with a hard-fought 1-1 draw against Ireland. Still in a chance with qualification if they get an upset win against either Italy or Belgium. Tough ties, both of those, of course. Best price 9-2 if you fancy Sweden. So you've got a choice there of 10-11 odds on shot with Italy, 9-2 Sweden, or 12-5 with the draw.
Yeah. I mean, 10-11 seems alright to me. Sweden weren't that good, I don't think, in the first game. Was it Ireland they played?
Yeah, they played Ireland, yeah.
I don't think they were that good. So, what's your recommended bet, though?
Well, I'm not entirely sure about backing Italy to win this game, just in the fact that I'm going to be interested to see how this team does on the front foot.
Okay.
Because you expect them to come out a little bit more than they did against Belgium, and I'm not entirely sure that actually suits this Italy team. I think that was the perfect kind of game for them to have to be playing up against a team like Belgium. So I actually think that backing Italy to keep a clean sheet is actually possibly a wiser bet. They've now kept 3 clean sheets in a row. They've got an excellent understanding at the back with not just individuals but as a unit, because of course, as I said in the previous video about Italy, they've got the back 4 of Buffon in goal, Barzagli, Bonucci and Chiellini that all play as a back 3 for Juventus, and that just helps for continuity, doesn't it? And it must mean that they have such a good understanding at the back there. So that's really fortunate for them, and they got such cohesion as a force on those kind of the goalkeeper and the back 3. And I think that Sweden, they actually showed that they had quite a lot of the ball against Italy, but they only actually managed to create 5 chances, and none of those chances were a shot on goal, and their goal actually came from an own goal headed by Kieran Clark, the Aston Villa centre half. So that's a pretty key point there, in that Sweden were struggling to break down an Ireland backline, and Ireland's defence is pretty good, but I don't say that it's anywhere near as good as Italy's backline. So Italy to keep a clean sheet here, I think is a really nice price at 10-11. It's the same price as back in Italy to win, and of course they could still draw 0-0 and still win this bet for me. Whereas if I backed Italy to win and it's a 0-0, then I win my bet, and it's the same price.
Mhm.
So I think backing an Italy clean sheet at 10 to 11 when they look so sound defensively, and Zlatan didn't really turn up in that Ireland game. So I think 10 to 11 clean sheet for Italy there is the best tip there.
Okay, I like that. I'll go with that. I trust you. 10 to 11 seems alright, yeah. It could easily be 0-0. Next up, we have Croatia versus Czech Republic. What's going to happen? Who are the favourites, first off?
Yeah, Croatia favourites here, 17 to 20. They won their first game up against Turkey. They created such a lot of chances up against Turkey and only managed to win 1-0 after that wonder strike from Luka Modric, one of the best goals of the tournament by far.
They haven't got a very good striker, have they, Croatia?
Absolutely. I'm going to move on to that point in a minute.
Okay.
They dominated that game in terms of shots. They actually had 17 shots in that game. I'm almost certain that that's the highest shots total so far for any team. 17 shots is a lot, and they're up against a team there, Turkey, that are a pretty decent team actually. They've actually managed 8 wins of the last 11 previous to that loss, so they're no mugs. But Turkey didn't really turn up in that game. Whereas Czech Republic opened up with a disappointing 1-0 loss against Spain, and I call it disappointing because they held on for so long. It was a late goal for Gerard Piqué, wasn't it, to beat them in the end. They had just 28% of the play in that game, which shows that they basically sat back and tried to soak it up, and they almost managed it up against the European champions. But alas, they let it slip in the end, and they're a best price 41 to 10. So there's a clear difference there of who the bookies think are the favourites here. They make Croatia odds-on favourite 70 to 20, or a pretty big price there, 41 to 10. So it's slightly bigger than 4 to 1 on a Czech Republic win.
Okay. So I can see that you're kind of leaning towards Czech Republic maybe, but what's your kind of recommended bet for this
I am
game?
going to lean with Czech Republic here. I just feel with Croatia that they don't have that out-and-out striker who can score the goals, that their superlative midfield should be able to tee up any player, and they should put it away. But Mandzukic, Perisic, Brozovic were all guilty of missing chances up against Turkey, and if Petr Cech has a great game and Czech Republic are defensively,
he was pretty good last game.
exactly,
He was really
and
good.
defensively resolute like they were against Spain, there's every chance here that Czech Republic won't lose the game. I'm not saying that'll definitely win the game at 41 to 10. That's not my tip. I'm going to go for double chance, so that means that I'm backing them to either draw the game or win the game. Best price here at 11 to 10, so it's a better price than backing Croatia at 17 to 20. I just think that there's more chance of this Czech Republic team holding out for maybe a draw, or sneaking a win up against Croatia because of Croatia's wastefulness in front of goal. Croatia don't really blow teams out of the water. Granted that they're in a really good run at the moment. They've actually won 7 games now out of 8, so they are winning games. But they're not blowing teams out of the water. They've only scored more than 1 goal in those games 3 times out of 8. So it's not like they're completely trouncing teams. And one of those was a slightly skewed version because it's a 10-0 win against San Marino. So I just think that Czech Republic, who have beaten Russia, drawn with Sweden, and only lost to Spain in the last minute in 3 of the last 5 games, have just about got enough about them to not lose this game. And I just think that 11 to 10 is a better bet on backing them not to lose the game than backing Croatia to win it, just because Croatia will create better chances. I'm just not entirely sure that they've got players to put them away.
Okay, so we want 2 0-0s for the first 2 games. That's kind of what we're aiming for. 2 real nice, exciting 0-0s, where Italy just defend like hell, and then Croatia miss 200 shots.
Fingers crossed for a big Friday night.
Yeah. The last game, the evening game, is Spain versus Turkey. Obviously, Spain weren't hugely impressive in their first match, like he's alluded to before. Neither were Turkey, really. But how's this game going to pan out? Who are the favourites?
Yeah, of course, the favourites are Spain with the bookmakers. Best price 4 to 9.
That's not that bad.
It's not a terrible price, is it? I can see them possibly picking up the win here, and I see plenty of people backing them to do so. 4 to 9 isn't a terrible game. It isn't a terrible price, but in the last 2 games they have only just scraped past Czech Republic 1-0 and lost to Georgia in the warm-up game. So they're not firing exactly in all cylinders.
No.
However, they have now won 8 of their last 11 matches, so they're not exactly doing terribly. And a win against Turkey here will guarantee them a spot in the last 16. So you would imagine that they're going to probably win this game. Turkey were really disappointed in the first game. I really felt that they had a chance against Croatia, and they just didn't really turn up at all. Arda Turan, in particular, their captain, is a really good player, but he hasn't really played much for Barcelona at all, and it showed in that game. He was really disappointing. Subbed off, didn't really show any signs of. Normally, when a class player's taken off, he like shows signs of like, oh, what me? I'm really good, but it was almost written on his face like, I've been pretty disappointed there. They lost 1-0 to Croatia, and defensively that they weren't great. They were opened up time and time again by Croatia. That game could have easily been 3-4-0, but again, looking back to the previous game I talked about, Croatia were pretty wasteful in front of goal, so it was only a 1-0 loss. And Turkey themselves only had 6 attempts on goal, so that's why they're a big price here, 9-1, best price to win the game. I'm not too sure many people will fancy that, but stranger things have happened, such as Georgia beating Spain. So 9-1 best price, or you can take the short price 4-9 on Spain.
Okay, so 4-9 is a good price. We've both agree on that. But I'm assuming you're not going to be tipping an odds on. So what's your recommended bet?
Rarely tip odds on, Jake. I can only find myself tipping odds on when it's a really balanced game, and I'm not entirely sure where it's going to go.
And it's only 10 to 11. It's not going to be like
exactly. So I'm going to back Spain to win, but just like I did in their game against Czech Republic, I'm going to back them to win 2-0. And that was a winning tip, of course, up against the Czech Republic, and it was the exact same price as well, 6-5. I think that's a really good price. Odds against, of course, so you're going to make more money than what you've put down. So that's always a bonus from the bookie. And the main reason that I fancy it is just because of the fact now that they've kept 7 clean sheets in the last 11 games. David De Gea, of course, is one of the best goalkeepers in the world. He's proven that time and time again at Man United. He's kept them in games countless times. He even made a pretty good save late on in that Czech Republic game when Czech Republic had a late chance, didn't they? They've also got one of the best centre-half partnerships at the tournament with Sergio Ramos and Gerard Piqué. Really like both those players defensively, and also as anytime goal scorer shouts, which I also pointed out in my video for the Czech Republic game, 9-1. That was as a winner, so I was pleased with that. And they're really troubled by Czech Republic. They actually had 72% of the play in that game, and because they have that in pretty much all their games, it just means that the opposition rarely get a shot on goal. 4 goals conceded in 11 games is proof of that for Spain. And Turkey are hardly free scoring themselves. They've just netted 7 goals in the last 7 games, so they're averaging about 1 a game. So I'm just going to say backing Spain to win 2-0 is a decent bet here. Spain have beaten Turkey every single time that they've played them in their history, only letting 1 goal in their history against Turkey. So backing Spain to win 2-0 again, just like they did against Czech Republic, 6-5, a far better bet, personally, I feel, than Spain to win the game.
That's a serious stat. Only ever scored 1 goal against Spain in their history.
That's it.
Never beaten them. 6-5, 4-9. But decent as well.
So those are my 3 tips for day 8, which is of course the Friday of this week, and it's in the early game. I'm backing Italy to keep a clean sheet, 10-11. I'm backing Czech Republic double chance against Croatia in the 5 o'clock kickoff at 11-10. And finally, Spain to win 2-0 against Turkey in the evening game at 8 o'clock. And we've got through this without talking about England too much, but really, please England, please win.
Just think about who you're playing against, okay? If anyone from England is seeing this video, think about who you're playing against. Wales. Look at their players other than Bale.
Think about it. So thanks very much for watching. I'm Ross Casey. This is a very nervous Jake Johns. And thanks for watching again. This has been a sponsored video with our sponsors BetBright, who will have price boosts and new customer offers throughout the tournament, so make sure that you check those out in the app. Download the app in the iOS store, or just head to the desktop version of easyodds.com. And lastly, don't forget to press the watermark at the bottom of our video to subscribe to our daily and weekly videos, including Jake's Ascot tips, where he's already been on fire.
Yep.
Thanks very much for watching. I've been Ross Casey, this is Jake Johns, and we are easyodds.com.